Okay, so this is what we want to talk to you about our experience as first-time homebuyers before we are realtors. I remember when I bought my first house, it was a very scary and traumatizing process. It was overwhelming. I had a lot of questions. There was a lot of terminology I knew nothing about. So, um, Caron is going to talk about her personal experience when she bought her house before she was a realtor. And I can tell you from my experience, when I bought my house, I was not in the business. I had a friend that was a realtor that helped me, which brought up the confidence. And, I knew I can call 1,000 times and ask 1,000 questions because she was my friend. But what it comes down to is the importance of having a realtor when you buy your house that you can trust, that you can call, text. Even though the question might seem stupid, there's no stupid question in this transaction. You're buying a house, you're buying something that you're gonna hold on to for 10, 20, 30 years. So it's a very important process. And I remember the fear I went through, all the questions, it was terrifying. It was important for me to have a realtor that I trusted. It was one of the biggest decisions I had to make at that time. I knew it's a commitment that I make for the next 30 years with the mortgage. So it's very important to have a person, a realtor, an agent that you can trust and is going to represent your best interest. That's why here at our company, we already experienced that. So when we deal with first-time home buyers, we already know kind of what you're going through. We experienced it ourselves, and we'll literally hold your hand and answer all your questions, make sure you're being taken care of. And every step of the way, we're going to explain you what the process is, what does this mean, where are we at, how many more days we need to wait now, like all these things. I remember the waiting was like scary every time. It's like, oh, now we got to wait for this. How many days? I don't know. We have to find out. The waiting game, it's exhausting as a home buyer. So, Caron, you want to tell us a little bit from your experience?
Kind of the same experience you had. It's overwhelming. We had an awesome realtor though that we could ask any questions to. I think with ours, one of the things is you get the insurance coming through and they're like, oh, you have to pay for this water damage or this wood rot before you even close on a house. And just to have my realtor there to say like, it's okay, everything's still a go, we're gonna do that, we're gonna get your house, just to know that he'd been through that before and everything went fine. It was just nice to have somebody else that was a professional to answer all of our questions.
So it made you feel like,
yes,
okay, I'm comfortable into like going down this road.
Right.
And even if as a first-time home buyer, you don't think about like, you're thinking, well, if it doesn't go through, I'm just gonna, get out of the deal. It's not that easy, yes, there are contingencies where you can get out of the deal without having any loss on your side, but also depends on what time in the process you decide to get out. You might have already invested some money. You might already have some expenses that you can't take back. For example, like a home inspection, right? You pay for a home inspection because you want to know if there is something wrong with the house. Well, later down the road, you decide, you know what, I don't want to deal with it. You can get out of the contract, but you're losing the money you put down for a home inspection, and they're not cheap.
No, and that was part of ours too. We did 3 home inspections total before we bought our house. But I'd rather spend $300, $400, $500 than
not knowing.
Not knowing.
So
it's good to do the inspection.
It is an important step, but it's not as easy as like, oh, it's not going to cost me anything. And now with social media and AI, they make it look like anybody can buy a house anywhere because everything is online. But by the time you find a house, actually going through all the steps, it's a long road with a lot of questions and
a lot of different people that you have to deal with that you didn't know. And so that's nice that your realtor knows all those steps, and they usually have somebody that they trust, like to do the inspections or anything else that you might have questions about. They have their circle of professionals that they trust that they can give to you, so that, I don't know, that just feels much better than you having to do the research yourself.
Yep. And then it comes down to like a property survey. Yeah, nobody talks about a property survey. Have you ever heard of property survey? If you are not in the business, you don't know you need a property survey, which property you need survey for. And then you might end up being at the closing table and title says, we need survey to close. And you're like, what is that? Yeah, well, this is it. Now you got to call somebody. Now you got to find a surveyor. Now they're going to tell you, oh, it's 3 weeks out. Now you need an extension. So there's a lot of things that a realtor, pretty much after you put in the offer and it's approved, that's when the work starts. Not before. Not finding the house, not writing the offer. That's not a big deal. It takes time to find the perfect house. It takes time to write an offer with the right conditions. It takes time to get approved. But after that, that's when the real work starts for a realtor. So there's a lot of behind the scenes that is not out there because it's our job, right? When you go to the doctor, you ask him, hey, how many years did you practice this surgery before you're going to do it on me? No, you don't ask that. You just go, you trust him, you go on with it, right? It's kind of the same thing. Right. Like there's behind the scenes a lot of things that you don't need to deal with once you have a realtor, and that's the beauty of it. The financing part is very important as well. Any lender out there gives you a pre-qualification letter based on your name and social security number. That's not everything. That's just the beginning. And then they're gonna start like looking through all your records, through all this, all that. I remember when I was going through it, I called my friend and I said, is this normal? This guy is asking me about everything. Like, what did I do? How did I put $500 in my bank account? Where did that money come from? I said, is this normal, or is just this guy that he's like curious? So it was important to have my friend there that says, no, this is normal. Like, you give this guy, a lender that you know nothing about, everything, access to your whole financial, social security, tax records, addresses, everything about everything. It's scary,
terrifying.
But terrifying, yeah. But it's necessary. It's necessary, and that's why it's important to work with professionals that you trust, because what you need to trust is, number one, their experience to do this, and number two, that they are going to represent you for your best interest, like for what you need, what you're looking for, and what's going to fit you. Because when you buy a house and you got to think about it, hey, if I buy this to live in it, this is what I ask my first-time home buyers. Do you see yourself living here for the next 10 years? How does it feel? Whatever your plans are, you might want to have more children, or maybe your kids are grown and now they're moving out. Like, whatever the situation is, do you see yourself being here for the next 10 years comfortably? Do you love this house to live in it for the next 10 years? And if they say, you know what, I'm not sure because the backyard is not really kind of what I need. It might be too big. I don't want to do the work, and I'm getting older, or I want to downsize, or I need more bedrooms because I have family coming in town every Christmas or whatever. So you got to think about it in perspective, and that's what we do here. We pretty much ask all the questions to help you narrow down everything that you might have not think about it before. Anything else?
No, it's just like you don't think of these things when you're buying. I definitely leaned on my realtor a lot when we bought our first house. Especially we moved here, hadn't been here a month, and we were looking for somewhere.
You had no idea.
No idea what we were doing down here. And so not only that, like he helped us with just the local area, what was important to us, how far away from the water did we want to be, and then knowing that we had to give certain things up because that price wasn't the same as it was farther away from the water. So yeah, it was nice to have somebody who has like been in the area, has worked here, understands the area, and he looked out for everything that we wanted. It was, we couldn't have picked a better realtor for sure.
Yeah. So now with all that experience, we come in and we provide the same service from our personal experience, and of course from our professional experience, because we've been doing this for quite some time. So that's why I want to do kind of this short introduction to tell you my experience, her experience. We come from total different areas. We had total different reasons why we bought a house. So everybody's situation is going to be different, but we're here for you.
We're flexible.
Yeah.